Hey guys, my name is Danielle. I'm an American. We live in England, and we're about to do a video on foods that we miss from the USA. As you're watching, please feel free to comment foods that you think we should try while we're in England. This is the quintessential Americans complaining about food video, I suppose, but I do think it's important to note that I really do just love food, all kinds of food, and here in England I'm surrounded by amazing food. I am not on a daily basis crying, sobbing, whinging, which is a word Matthew told me to say, or any of that. I'm really happy with the food that I eat on a daily basis here in England. However, there are some foods that I do miss, and they're primarily for me comfort foods. And yes, most of them are not so good for me. I'm not sitting around missing salad or veggies, because obviously I have those around all the time. I am missing mainly processed food. And also, it's really important to note, technically I do have access to, I think, almost all or all of the foods that I'm going to list. Because we live in a modern age, a lot of these foods are even available on Amazon. It just costs a ton of money to get them over here. And because I do believe in living on a budget, living frugally, and also just enjoying the place where I'm at, I'm not going to spend extra money for the convenience of eating food that's just comfort food and is not necessary. These are not in any particular order, and of course I should also say every American is different, so what I miss, not every American misses, and that's fine. Breadsticks. So I have had breadsticks here in England. I bought them from the store, but they tend to be long, skinny, and crunchy, and they're great, love them, but the ones that I really miss are the ones that are thick, soft, and coated in butter and garlic, like the ones we would get from Olive Garden. Probably, I don't know if that's a helpful reference, but they're soft, amazing, and warm. Salad dressings. I love salad, and I really, really love salad dressing, so I really enjoy unhealthy salads, I guess. In America, I would normally gravitate toward a ranch or Caesar dressing, and they tend to be the creamier, fattier, sugarier salad dressings. Here, when I get those kinds of salad dressings, I've noticed that there's a slight taste difference, and it, I think, is maybe due to here they tend to use a sugar substitute instead of real sugar, and it just creates this taste difference that I miss real sugar in my salad dressing. Hot Cheetos. So we have seen things that are similar to Hot Cheetos in some ways, like the puffy ones, but not the thin, crunchy ones, and definitely not the spicy ones. I'm sure they exist somewhere, but I do miss that. And I don't normally eat those in America, but for some reason, I'm feeling it. Speaking of comfort food, I love breakfast food, and one of the breakfast foods that I miss a bit are pancakes. And y'all do have pancakes here, and they're yummy, but they tend to be flat. And the pancakes that I specifically miss tend to be light and really fluffy. We can make them, and we do make them. They're just not as readily available. This one surprised me, but I miss grits. Grits, if you don't know what they are, you should look them up. They're things that my mom always ate for breakfast, and I always thought they were gross unless I dumped a bunch of sugar in them when I was a child. But I really miss the flavor of grits, and I don't know where to get them here. In the States, we have Girl Scouts. They sell cookies. There are lots of different kinds. The specific kind that I miss are Samoas, which are essentially biscuits covered in caramel, chocolate, and coconut. Really good, nice and chewy, delicious. Haven't been able to find them here yet. Corn dogs. Maybe they exist, haven't found them yet, but they're essentially a sausage on a stick that has batter around them, almost like sausage in a pancake, and they're amazing, and you dip them in ketchup or mustard, and they're really good. Next, sausages. And I don't really know how to describe this, but I really miss sausages like I had in the States, where when I bit into them, they kind of like pop, and they're really juicy, and they're not just soft. I don't know if I want to say more about this one, but I like the sausages here. I just miss the sausages that I used to have in America sometimes. Biscuits and gravy. I love them so much. and they're not readily available here. In this case, the biscuit is not a cookie. It's not sweet. It's savory. It looks kind of like a scone, but it's not as sweet as a scone. There's still a little bit of sweetness typically in a scone. And sausage gravy poured on top of that is just so good. And I love it so much, and I miss it. And this should probably go at the beginning, at the end of this list. I really love biscuits and gravy. I think Matthew actually mentioned this one in a different video, but Kraft Mac and Cheese. Again, super processed, but there's just something really comforting about a really cheap box of pasta with bright orange cheese on it. It's delicious, and we do miss it. Quick shout out to our family who actually, when they came to visit, they brought a bunch of boxes of mac and cheese. Really sweet. I'm not a huge soda drinker when we are in America, but I have noticed since moving here, the soda options tend to be a little bit more limited, as well as it's harder to find soda that has sugar in it, like real sugar, as opposed to, aspartame or other sugar substitutes. Generally speaking, there's a great selection of restaurants here. Not really complaining about that. I do miss Taco Bell, and I know that there are Taco Bells in the UK, in England, but I have not been able to make it to one. There are no Taco Bells in our immediate city, and it would take quite a long drive to make it to one, so I do miss Taco Bell a bit. I miss banana peppers, and banana peppers, I don't really know how to describe them. You may need to look them up, but they're a yellow pepper that's been sliced, and I think they're either pickled or something, but they have a cool flavor that's kind of spicy, and they normally go on sandwiches, and they're amazing, and I have been craving them, but I can't find them, and actually every time I describe them, probably because I'm doing a bad job, nobody knows what I'm talking about, so I'll continue my search. I miss something about pizza. I love pizza. We've had some really good pizza here, but there's something in the flavoring that's different, and I don't know what it is yet. Even like we've gone to chain restaurants that are also in the States, and we've gone here in England, and the pizzas still taste slightly different. So I'm not exactly sure what it is. I'm learning to like the corn on the pizza, and in fact, that's actually coming more and more to the States. We're starting to put corn on pizza too. So, but something about the pizza just isn't quite right, and I'm sure it has to do with really bad additives or differences in regulations between the countries. I don't really know, but I do miss that specific taste in pizza that I'm not quite getting here. I miss ramen, and ramen noodles are generally thought of as like one of the cheapest foods you can buy in the States. College students eat it because you can just microwave it. It's just noodles and water. Super simple, lots of sodium. And here, we've really struggled to find ramen. We find things that are kind of similar, but they don't have quite the flavors that we're looking for. However, we did recently find some, and it was in the Asian section of the grocery store, and it's amazing. And the only downside is it's significantly more expensive than what we would buy in the States. So it's not necessarily the budget-friendly food that we normally think of it being in the States. Still love it, still eat it, it's great. In summary, I think it is important to say that I do recognize a lot of the reasons these foods don't exist or are not as prevalent in the UK is because there is such a difference in the additives and things that are allowed, like certain dyes that are in our food in the US that are not allowed here in the UK. Completely understand that. Additionally, we do tend to have a lot more sodium and sugar in our diets in America. And I know that's not a good thing necessarily. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, please feel free to like and subscribe. And also, please leave us some comments if there are foods that you can think of that you think we might enjoy. I love trying new foods. I love being in England and trying all of the new foods that I don't have access to in America. That's amazing. And I want to soak up every opportunity to eat food that I will not have access to in the USA. I really miss biscuits and gravy.